Introduction. Dear students, in this session we are going to learn about an important social problem, inequality in caste. India is a nation of diverse culture with various social problems. Inequality in caste is the most confused knot of all social problems. First, let us understand what caste is. Caste is a form of social grouping characterized by endogamy, hereditary transmission of a style of life. It includes an occupation, ritual status in hierarchy, customary social interaction, and barring based on cultural notions of purity and pollution. The word caste means race, lineage, or breed. In India, the Hindu society is divided into rigid social groups with roots in India's ancient history and is prevalent even today. However, the economic significance of the caste system in India has been declining as a result of urbanization and affirmative action programs. Caste is fixed by birth, and each caste is associated with a tradition occupation such as weaving or barbering. Hindu religious principles underlie the caste hierarchy and limit the ways that caste can interact. Marriage occurs only with caste. In practice, the caste system consists of thousands of jatis, generally of a local or regional nature. Each has its own history, customs, and claimed descent from one of the four varnas. Members of a jati may have many different professions, although commonly they will be related in status and nature to the jati's traditional occupation. Wealth and power generally rise with caste status, but individuals may be rich or poor. The caste system affects the society by making the people more exposed to injustice, stereotyping, and other things. These differences in ranking often cause dispute within the society. Inequality and injustice exist in caste system. It is a social evil faced by the Indian society from centuries. The people of one caste don't like to mix with others. This division of society into many religions, caste and subcaste comes in the way of the unity and integrity of the Indian nation. The caste system cannot be eradicated without changing the mindset of the people. From time, social reforms and thinkers have tried to eradicate this evil, but in vain. It is a deep-rooted problem which has defined all solutions so far. The problem has persisted largely because of illiteracy and ignorance of the people. Their ignorance makes the people conservative and superstitious. Hence, they do not accept any social change. They want things to continue as they are. Every measure of social reform is strongly opposed and considered to be an attack on their religion by the religious fanatics. Classification of caste system in India. Ancient Indian texts on laws such as Manusmriti suggest a caste system was part of Indian society. These laws in ancient India discriminate between castes. For example, the laws of Manusmriti declare sexual relationships between men and women of different castes as illegal. Historically, the caste system in India consisted of four well-known categories: the Varnas, Brahmin, priests, Kshatriyas were warriors, Vaishyas were traders, and Shudras workmen. The fifth one, Dalits, to all the things that relates with death and other gruesome things. Some people were left out from these four caste classifications and were called Panchama or Dalits, literally the fifth. Regarded as outcasts or the untouchable, these were shunned and not accepted. Brahmins are the highest caste. Next comes the Kshatriyas, the warriors, and then the Vaishyas, the merchants. The lowest Varna is the Shudras, consisting of laborers, artisans, and servants. At the bottom of society are those associated with occupations considered extremely unclean, such as handling garbage, excrement, or corpses. In the past, these castes were called untouchables. They were often forbidden from entering temples. Living inside the village, drinking from wells used by high castes, or even letting their shadows fall on Brahmin. When did the inequality caste start? The laws of Manu, Manusmriti, refer to the impurity and willing to serve attitude of outcasts, while affirming the dominance and total freedom of Brahmins. Those from the lowest caste are told their place in the caste hierarchy is due to their sins in past life. Vivid punishments of torture and death are assigned for crimes such as gaining literacy or insulting a member of dominant caste. Among the writings of Hindu religious texts, the Manusmriti is undoubtedly the most authoritative one, legitimizing social elimination and introducing absolute inequality as the guiding principle of social relations. In their creation myth, 4 Varnas are said to have come from the primal being. According to the Rig Veda hymn, the different classes sprang from the 4 limbs of the Creator. The Creator's mouth became the Brahman priest, his 2 arms from the Rajanya, Kshatriya, the warriors and kings, his 2 thighs from the Vaishya, landowners and merchants, and from his feet were born Shudra, untouchables, artisans and servants. It was meant to show that the 4 classes stood in relation to the social organization in the same relation as the different organs of the man to his body. Together, they had to function to give vitality to the body. This caste system became fixed and hereditary with the emergence of Hinduism and its beliefs of pollution and rebirth. Traumas of inequality in caste. Inequality in caste was faced by lower caste, especially the untouchables. They were made to do unpleasant jobs, undergo humiliation from the upper caste people. There are often a number of restrictions assigned to people of lower caste, such as restrictions on sharing food and drink with members of other caste, restrictions on going to certain places, the enforcement of endogamy, and the use of caste-based dress and food habits. These restrictions can be enforced through physical violence or exploitation. Lower castes are more likely to live in slums and have low status jobs and income. The untouchables lived on the outskirts of a village, segregated from the rest. Bound down to a code of behavior, they lived a life appropriate to a slavery state. According to this code, an untouchable could not do anything that raised him or her above his or her appointed station in life. The caste system stamped an individual as untouchable from birth. The untouchables had the lowest social status. They lived on the periphery of society and handled what was seen as unpleasant or pollution jobs. They suffered from social segregation and restrictions, in addition to being poor generally. They were not allowed to worship in temples with others, nor draw water from the same wells as others. Persons of other caste would not interact with them. If somehow a member of another caste came into physical or social contact with an untouchable, he was dishonored and had to bathe thoroughly to purge himself of the contamination. Social discrimination developed even among untouchables. Subcaste among them, such as the Dhobi, would not interact with lower order Bhangis, who handled night soil and were described as outcasts even among outcasts. Some untouchables had risen in Indian society above the usually low status, but the majority had limited mobility or none during Britain's colonial rule. The survey documents low levels of contraceptive use among the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes compared to forward caste. Reduced access to maternal and child health care is evident with reduced levels of antenatal care, institutional deliveries, and complete vaccination coverage among the lower caste. Stunting, wasting, underweight, and anemia in children and anemia in adults are higher among the lower caste. Similarly, neonatal, postnatal, infant, child, and under 5 statistics clearly show a higher mortality among the SCs and STS. Problems in accessing healthcare were higher among the lower caste. Assault, rape, and murder of Dalits by the upper caste are common, and yet frequently these crimes are not investigated and punished by the authorities, despite laws and protection provided by the Indian state. How did the inequality in caste affect the society? The caste system was irrational. It isolated people, filled a sense of inferiority into lower caste individuals, and divided humanity. The caste system was not merely a social problem. It traumatized India's people, its economy, and the discourse between its people, preventing India from developing and sharing knowledge and destroying its ability to create and enjoy the fruits of freedom. The philosophies supporting the social grouping system in India had discouraged critical thinking and cooperative effort. The lack of social mobility had prevented India from developing technology which can aid man in his efforts to make a bare living, a life better than that of a brute. The absence of scientific and technical progress combined with the entire philosophy treat the untouchables as responsible for famines, deserting the land, and degrades the consciousness by not respecting the civic rights of every fellow human being. At the same time, the untouchables leave it as it's their fate. During the British rule, castes, particularly the lower castes, were changing their occupations with time and need. Once they changed their occupation, they would evolve into their own social group. Barbers became or were becoming confectioners, washermen became or were becoming farmers, and priests became or were becoming farmers as well. In other words, neither occupational mobility was set for life nor social customs on eating or drinking together were rigid. This division of society into so many religions, castes and subcastes comes in the way of the unity and integrity of the Indian nation. People vote on the basis of caste and religion and do not take the merits of the candidate into consideration. Democracy itself has become a mockery owing to this evil. Inequality in caste plays a dominant role in politics. Every party in India is strongly backed by a caste. They don't allow people get united in casteless society because it is difficult for minor caste party to remain in the politics. There, Dalit parties in India, from north to south, project themselves as voice of SC and STs. Since independence, no changes has come to this section of people. Top leaders and politicians play caste politics to sustain in power and earn wealth. No equality has existed in the society, both economically and socially. We can't change caste, but we can eradicate caste from our society. We can't expect politicians to talk about casteless society because they want people to be divided. Reforms to change inequality in caste in Indian history. Inequality in caste has been criticized by many Indian social reformers over India's history. There have been challenges to change the inequality in caste from the time of Buddha, Mahavira, and Mukhali Gosala. Opposition to the system of Varna is regularly asserted in the Yoga Upanishads. Many Bhakti period saints like Basavanna, others rejected the caste discriminations and accepted all castes, including untouchables, into their fold. During the British rule, this sentiment gathered steam and many Hindu reforms movements such as Brahmo Samaj, Arya Samaj renounced caste-based discrimination. Vivekananda similarly criticized caste as one of the many human institutions that bars the power of free thought and action of an individual. Jyotirao Phule strongly criticized any explanations that caste system was natural and ordained by the creator in Hindu texts. If Brahma wanted castes, argued Phule, he would have ordained the same for other creatures. There are no castes in species of animals or birds. Why should there be one among human animals? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was born in India in a caste that was traditionally classified as untouchable, became a leader of human rights in India, a prolific writer, a key person in drafting modern India's constitution in the 1940s. Ambedkar wrote extensively on discrimination, trauma, and tragic effects of the caste system in India. Gandhi, the father of our nation, an admirer of Ambedkar, and who worked together to non-violently protest British colonial rule in India, disagreed with some of Ambedkar's observations, rationale, and interpretations about the caste system in India. Caste, claimed Gandhi, had nothing to do with religion. The discrimination and trauma of caste was the result of custom, the origin of its unknown. Gandhi said that the custom's origin was moot point because one could spiritually sense that these customs were wrong and that any caste system is harmful to the spiritual well-being of man and economic well-being of a nation. Measures taken to eradicate the inequality in caste. The injustice of the caste system and the means of addressing it has been an active topic of modern Indian discourse. Particularly in the last 80 years, in 1933, the seriousness of the issue and its trauma of Indian consciousness is exemplified by the following message from Ambedkar to Gandhi. The outcast is a byproduct of the caste system. There will be outcasts as long as there are castes. Nothing can liberate the outcast except the destruction of the caste system. Nothing can help to save Hindus and ensure their survival in the coming struggle except the purging of the Hindu faith of this hateful and cruel belief. Since 1950, India has enacted and implemented many laws and social initiatives to protect and improve the socio-economic conditions of its Dalit population. By 1995, of all jobs in the central government service, 17.2% of the jobs were held by Dalits. Of the highest paying, senior most jobs in government agencies and government-controlled enterprises, over 10% were held by members of the Dalit community, a tenfold increase in 40 years, but yet to fill up the 15% reserved quota for them. Indians born in historically discriminated minority castes have been elected to its highest judicial and political offices. While the quality of life of Dalit population in India, such as poverty, literacy rate, access to healthcare, life expectancy, access to healthcare, life expectancy, education, attainability, access to drinking water, housing, etc. have seen faster growth amongst the Dalit population between 1986 and 2006. It remains lower than overall non-Dalit population, and for some it is better than poor non-Dalit population. India's overall economic growth has produced the fastest and most significant socio-economic changes to the historical injustice to its minorities. Legal and social program initiatives are no longer India's primary constraint in further advancement of India's historically discriminated sections of society and the poor. Further advancements are likely to come from improvements in the supply of quality schools in rural and urban areas, along with India's economic growth. A 2003 report claims intercaste marriage is on the rise in urban India. Indian societal relationships are changing because of female literacy and education. Women at work, urbanization, need for two-income families, and influences from the media. The caste system is still socially relevant in India. Caste has become an important factor in politics of rural India. Although elections in the first decade of the 21st century seem to have diminished a hold that was very much evident in the previous few decades, the Government of India has officially documented caste and subcaste, primarily to determine those deserving reservations, positive discrimination in education and jobs through the census. The Indian reservation system relies on quotas. The government list consists of scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Continuing the current affirmative action in education and employment is crucial. Strengthening the midday meal, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, the Right to Education Act, the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, the Food Security Act, and the National Rural Health Mission, all steps in the right direction, is essential. There is need to increase resource allocation for the social determinants of health and to enforce the government's primary responsibility in providing for basic needs. Gender equality and social and political inclusion of the poor and lower caste in policy and decision making are required. Conclusion: caste or no caste, creed or no creed, any man or class, or caste or nation or institution that bars the power of free thought and bars actions of an individual is devilish and must go down. Liberty of thought and action, asserted Vivekananda, is the only condition of life, of growth, and of well-being. In Inequality in Caste, in India spiritually blinded some Indians and then added that this did not mean that every Indian or even most Indians blindly followed the caste system. or everything from ancient Indian scriptures of doubtful authenticity and value. India, like any other society, cannot be judged by caricature of its worst specimens. Gandhi stated that one must consider the best it produces as well, along with the vast majority in impoverished Indian villages struggling to make ends meet, with woes of which there was little knowledge. Modern India does not practice apartheid since there is no state-sanctioned discrimination. They write that casteism in India is presently not apartheid. In fact, untouchables as well as tribal people and members of the lowest caste in India benefit from broad affirmative action programs and are enjoying greater political power. The Constitution of India places special emphasis on outlawing inequality in caste, especially the practice of untouchability. Only education can increase the think of the people and unite people. Caste system exists only because of ignorance within the people. Education can bring next generation new bloods without caste. The key to this problem lies in the creation of a strong public opinion against it. Teachers, professionals, scholars, thinkers, and writers should all unite and in the nation and fight against this chronic and widespread social evil. A responsible press can do a lot in this direction. The caste system persists even after 62 years of independence. Every effort should be made to change the psychology of the people and strict action taken against offenders. Birth seems to determine health, education, employment, social and economic outcomes. Systematic injustice requires much more than a change of heart. It requires changes in social structures.